rising spirit, sing a song of prayer. You have a voice, this new song to sing. I've been told as I get old, this world could cease to be. The world I knew as a child has changed, but for the better, I'll disagree. The world of a youth has changed its tune and its greed and money that we sing. The family unit has lost its fire. Mom and dad are doing different things. I still believe we are all the same. Love can heal the wounds and hurt most any pain. Put your arm around a neighbor. Tune up an instrument to play. Time is wasting. Lift up your voice. The time is now for a new song to sing. The time is now for a new song to sing. The time is now for a new song to sing. A new song of creativity, a new song of knowledge economy, a new song for all those things that makes man man. And when I say makes man man, that brings about the desired development. What is the essence of having a nation where you cannot develop human capacity, where you cannot develop every society or community or nation or country in the world is giving some form of endowment, some form of, in form of whatever it is you want to call it, natural resources, human resources, for their survival. But in a situation whereby you fail to harness it, in a situation whereby you make use of all those that God has given you, then where lies your prowess. I still believe we all are the same. It makes no difference of your color or name. Put your arm around a neighbor. Tune up that instrument to play. Time is wasting. Lift up your voice. The time is now for a new song to sing. A new song to sing. Put your arm around the neighbor. Tune up that instrument to play. Time is wasting. You have a new voice to sing that song. It is in this light that I'm going to say good afternoon once again, listeners, wherever you are, and in fact those who are also watching us on the screen, you know, maybe on your phone or your laptop, wherever you are. The program is Oju Inu AGBA, and it's on your favorite radio station, the one and only radio station of the Ministry of Oyo State, Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism in Oyo State. Good afternoon once again. Today we have a very important guest. Somebody like those who use the word a man of timber and caliber. I think he's still valid. And is a man of many parts. Is a man who has really been to places promoting and caring about the importance of knowledge, creativity in the as industries that can take a country or a nation, particularly our country Nigeria, to stardom. And we have him this afternoon. He's going to throw a lot of light on how can this be achievable. And they say whatever you can conceive, you can achieve if you believe. And strongly, he knows that this is achievable. And that's why he has come all the way from Lagos to come and be our guest this afternoon. We just had a meeting with the Honorable Commissioner of Information, Culture and Tourism to see how we can move Oyo State forward. There are a lot of tourist centers in Oyo State. There are a lot of creative industries in Oyo State that goes far beyond just shooting mouth. I mean, just shooting our mouth. Prince is here with us this afternoon. A prince from Ota, Managing Director and Chief Executive of Knowledge Hub Nigeria, Chairman, Ijeman Gallery in Lagos, Nigeria, is here with us. And I'm not talking of no other person than Prince Lekan Fadina. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, sir. Well, you've been with the Honorable Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism this afternoon. Why were you with him?
Well, let me thank you, and let me also thank the Commissioner for welcoming us to his office. We are in Ibadan for a couple of things, but I think the key main important that we need to address is the issue of knowledge and culture.
Good.
Knowledge, culture, creativity,
yes,
and a host of others. And that means the world is changing. The world is changing. For example, today you talk about knowledge economy, knowledge society. The world is moving. The world is not
stagnant.
It's not stagnant. Today,
it's dynamic.
Yeah, we must address some key issues, and in addressing these key issues, we also need to bring into focus our own environment. For example, you cannot stop when you talk about development. You also need to talk about not just development for development's sake. Does it touch people?
Is it germane?
Yes. When you, for example, people talk about growth. What about development? Whatever you are doing, does it touch the heart of the society? What you call enhancing society's livelihood? Does it add value to the gross domestic product of a country? Does it lift people? Does it affect our health? Does it affect our way of life? So these are things that we need to address, and culture is the basis. Where are you from? Somebody who has no history,
you have identity.
Yes, if you don't have heritage, if you don't have, it's like history. History is a story. You are born somewhere. Your allegiance to somewhere. And these are some of the things why we are here. In the course of the discussion, I will emphasize, because the world has changed.
Thank you very much.
Take
sir.
a very simple example. You no longer talk about my world is in Ghana. No, your world is in your sitting room. The age of technology, you can converse with anybody. We now see Zoom. People are working from their homes. People are dealing things in the way completely different from what we know. And that is the issue. And then you need to go back. Where is your origin? A number of our people, our forefathers, they left Nigeria. They were taken as slaves to various areas.
In the transatlantic trade. Yes.
Some of them are in countries like Belize, in South America. Some of them are in Haiti. Some of them are in Angola, and so on. When you look at the history, they come from somewhere.
Yes.
Why is it that the blacks are now looking for where they come from?
Their roots.
Yes, because the challenge you have now is that Europe is blocking. Look at what is happening in America, the issue of immigrants. Why is it that the British and others are getting the best of our doctors? And we don't appreciate what we have? It's because there is an economic benefit. There is a cultural benefit. There is a benefit that will be the interest of the people. When you have almost 700 and something Nigerian doctors within 1 week registered in America.
Wow.
Are they therefore unregistered in Britain? Are they there for nothing? No, it's an interest. You need to start to look what are your own interests. So in this area, when we talk about knowledge, Knowledge is the heart of development.
Yes, I was in fact coming to that. That I want you to throw more light on what is knowledge economy.
A knowledge economy is a knowledge that looks at how do you add value to your society.
To your society.
How do you make 2 + 2 to be 5? Not 2 + 2 to be 4. Because if I add 2 and you add 2, it doesn't make, there's no added value.
No, it's the same old story.
The knowledge economy carries along with it ability for extra knowledge, for bringing in a knowledge is an added value. Something when you talk about knowledge, you are finding out why should A be B and not C.
So knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. Nothing is more dangerous than ignorance. So knowledge is the heart of development, and we must not run away from that. And we have seen it. Most countries have adopted knowledge economy and knowledge society, and we have seen it. Small country like Zambia is moving with 16 million people. Kenya, where is Kenya more rated than Nigeria? And we have everything going for us. Today, we are not talking about the resources, natural resources. Can you imagine? China is recruiting Ghanaians to come and plant cocoa in China.
In China?
Yes. They are getting Ghanaians. They are even our own cassava. What does that mean? We prepare the raw materials, but now they are adding value. Cassava you get cassava over 1,000 varieties, but we only produce cassava to eat. What of cassava for industry? What about cassava for starch?
For other pharmaceutical
products. These are added value, and if we are not careful, getting Nigerians, getting Africans to China and so on, we are not there.
No. Excuse me.
And we are talking about African free trade of a market of 1.2 billion people. So it's knowledge, it's the ability to add value, to add that extra knowledge. And if you say education is expensive, try ignorance.
Try ignorance and see. Thank you very much, Prince Ferdinand. It's been a wonderful afternoon on Aloore Radio here that you can in fact access on www.aloreradio.com/radio, and also you can access it on your apps, just by going to going on your apps and then access it on there. You find Aloore Radio, and we are here this afternoon once again with Mr. Prince Ferdinand to please enlighten us. Please, sir. Yes, I've listened to you talk about knowledge and the need for us to not take knowledge lightly if we must be relevant in the global economy. How do we actually go about that?
Okay. We can go, first and foremost, let us appreciate the fact that knowledge itself is the main element and resources of societies.
Okay.
Knowledge changes dramatically through a number of drivers. You talk about globalization.
Okay.
You talk about digitalization.
Yes.
You talk about specialization and a lot more.
Okay.
And the United Nations have come up with what you call, they have defined knowledge as sharing and collaboration in global partnership.
Okay.
For knowledge exchange as one of the 17 sustainable development goals.
Okay.
So which means the United Nations understand that if we are going to move from point 1 to point B, you can't do it the way you have been doing it. Coronavirus,
it's no longer business as usual.
No. Coronavirus has taught us that the way we are going, we must find solution for health. Health has taken a center stage.
All right.
Why is it that other countries are struggling to find solution to this, and we don't encourage our own people? Whether it's the utilization of our what we call the leaves, our raw, which is our raw materials, is the ability to add value, and they mean a lot. Have we taken time? Have we spent money? Have we invested in the ability to say, how do we solve this problem? People talk about coronavirus virus doesn't affect us in Africa. Yes, because of our weather. But we cannot continue. That's one side.
To assume.
We cannot just assume. For example, in Lagos today, there is an hospital. That hospital is one of the best in the world. It has saved a lot of money from people going to India or other countries. But this hospital is staffed by young Nigerians. Very young people. They have come in from different places in America, in this and that. In fact, if you go to America, the American medical system is really controlled by Nigerians.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I'm
aware of that.
Only last year, the son of General Olutoye, who is the traditional ruler of Idoani, led a team of medical team globally to find a solution to a real problem of health. One of the people that played a key role in finding solution to coronavirus in America is a student who left University of Ibadan in 2003.
Just recently.
And today that young man is playing a critical role in finding solution to this. And there are a lot of Nigerians who are researchers in this area. That is one side.
Okay.
The other side is that we talk about bringing remittances by diaspora. Yes, they bring in about 25 million, billion dollars money every year.
Dollars.
But that is not much. Can you put value on knowledge? If you can look at how many Nigerians have invested in America, if you go to certain countries, in fact, there is nowhere in the world that you won't find Nigerians.
I understand that.
So, these Nigerians, they are contributing to the value of this place.
But so
in Canada, the Minister of Justice happens to be a Nigerian. So, and it's the same thing. But how did they get there? What is it that they make it happen in Nigeria and in that countries and it's not happening here? We must address our enabling environment. We must appreciate the fact that knowledge is a resource. It's a key resource. Why is it that other countries are doing it? Why is South Africa? Why even small Uganda? Why is that they are doing it and Nigeria is just not there? So the answer is that Nigeria must move towards the road of creating the knowledge economy and knowledge society.
Thank you very much. Thank you so very much, sir. You know, my son Arewa, when he was 17 years, he said something. He said, "Dad," and I said, "Yes." All I could see is that Nigerians are training graduates only for other countries to make use of them. That's sad.
Of course.
So what you are saying in essence is there is no such thing as what they call where people just take off, to other country in search of greener pasture that they call brain drain. Because brain drain means you have jobs that you don't have people who can do it. But in a situation whereby jobs are not created, people have to go look elsewhere for jobs. So what you say that the fact that we don't put much importance on knowledge economy, it's reverberating in a negative way for our development.
Of course it is. Let me give you two simple things. If you are familiar with Vienna.
Okay, yes, in Europe.
In Austria.
Yes.
Vienna is the knowledge center of the world.
Okay.
That is where you get OPEC headquarters.
Okay.
That is where you have the nuclear center.
Yes.
That is where you will find. It's a small country.
It is a small country.
And
what is the size of the whole of Europe?
Can you imagine that people from Vienna are the one driving the power and the economy of Australia and some of these countries and the security of these countries? It's true knowledge. Today, you are talking of looking at graph to solve problems. The world today has moved beyond me and yourself just thinking, what do we do? And that is why some of us are saying that, look, let us develop, take Oyo State, for example. I see no reason why Oyo State cannot be developed into a knowledge state, into a knowledge-based state. And there are certain characteristics of a knowledge basis. This is where the collective power of mind and experiences are there. And when you talk about the collective power of knowledge, Oyo Ibadan, the first university in Nigeria,
took place there.
Yeah. And when you look around, you also see various institutions, universities, technical college, and so on.
Yes.
And that television. That brings me to the fact that we need to define what is the purpose of our education.
That brings me to a point now that I would like you to shed more light on. I've been at the meeting with the commissioner.
Yes.
How do you mention it to him that you are expecting some guests?
Yes.
From where part of the world are they coming from?
I'm coming to that. You see, the reason why I'm coming to that is that I want us to appreciate that it's not just guests coming to Nigeria.
Okay.
When people come to Nigeria, it's not here to come and see them or come and see their face. That is not an issue.
Yes, sir.
You see, I've told you that we must start to think, how do we create a knowledge city? And I've talked on a knowledge environment. And I've told you about the collective power of mind and experience of people, because these are drivers of development. Is the ability to complete globally, and the quality of life of their people, which will change it.
Yes.
The other aspect is that we need to support a resource education and research system.
Yes.
We must collaborate. The government must collaborate with business.
Yes.
You can't do it alone.
You can't do it
alone.
We
must produce a highly skilled and talented workforce. Again, that brings in culture of innovation.
Interesting. Yes.
Because there is no way you can develop without the people.
You
must understand their culture.
Yes.
Human development. They must the spirit of adaptation. You cannot run away from that. There is the other aspect that we need to look at. We need to appreciate the fact that we must build a vibrant collaboration and lifelong learning culture.
Yes.
And this lifelong learning culture should be in the interest of the people.
Should
people must be at the center of that development.
Yes.
Who they are, what do they want? What exactly do they want? Is this something that is beneficial to them? Like the Rotary will say, is it beneficial to all concerned?
To all concerned.
So these are issues that we need to look at. And then you also need to address the fact that how do you transform a state?
For instance,
take Oyo State into sort of a knowledge society. You must create a knowledge base. So you must start to address your own knowledge development agents. You must also create a multi-stakeholder partnership between government, business and society to form a very strong knowledge ecosystem. You must also build up a multi-stakeholder working to realize the goals of knowledge development agenda. And it has happened in other countries. Their agenda.
Yes.
For instance, you talk about United Nations Development Goal. Can we meet it? Have we really addressed some of these goals that are germane to our own country? And these are issues to our own people. And part of it also is what I've spoken at length, the role of diaspora. Today,
exactly.
The role of diaspora. Today, the diasporas have become a force to be reckoned with. Like I said, not only in the money they are bringing in, but in the fact that they have a basic knowledge. And in actual fact, black people around the world are looking for identity. Today, Yoruba has become a lingua franca of Brazil.
Brazil, yes.
And the Yoruba institution has become the second largest in Brazil, both in terms of custom, in terms of tradition,
and that's in South America.
And that's South America. We are only talking about Brazil. What about countries like Belize? What about Honduras? What about Haiti and so on? That is one side.
Cuba.
Cuba. The other side of the coin, which you must not run away from, is the fact that Europe is shutting itself out of black people, unless you have an extra knowledge or extra value you are bringing on the table.
That's how they can allow you to come in.
And that is why they are taking Nigerian doctors. But you now have vast areas in Central America. People are looking for their identity. They are looking for their root. And like I told you before, most slaves from Africa, for example, in Nigeria, they will transport them from Nigeria to Sierra Leone, from Sierra Leone to all these places. And it is these people, they are now saying, look, we have a root.
Where did we come from?
Where did you come from? And part of what we have been doing the last 1 year is that we have been working vigorously, not only to bring people into Africa or into Nigeria. In fact, our own concept is that when you talk about Africa, it's Nigeria.
Yes. Yeah.
When you talk about Africa,
for one thing, out of every 5 Africans you see, is in Nigeria.
In actual fact, African free trade gives us a market of 1.2 billion.
Okay.
And Nigerian population is 206. So which means 1/6 of that people happens to be Nigerians. These people are looking for where they should come from.
Where they should go.
In the last 1 year, we've been working on developing these areas. It's just like what UNDP has been able to do. Our organization, System Consulting, along with our other aspects, we now realize that we are working closely on the basis of development. How do you bring development into this area? Should they need to depend on Europeans or this? But they are also looking for competent people in Africa. Where apart from putting investment, they are also thinking that let us develop something that our children and our children could learn the language. They want to learn Yoruba. They want to do this. They want to. Why is it that the Americans are sending their own people to Nigeria?
Yes.
Look at how many American universities are talking about learning Yoruba.
Oh yeah, but we have about 67 universities around the world today.
To us, what we are trying to do
that are teaching Yoruba
is that we are working vigorously on what you call a cultural exchange. Of people that come from various areas in Central America. Some of them live in America, and don't forget, most of them live in America. They live in other areas.
But they're actually from other Southern Africa, America.
They really, if they have their investment, they are now looking at, how do we create an enabling environment? Why is that people are going to Ghana?
If I may ask you, sir, is that part of what you're...
Yes, that is what we are trying to do, and that's the point I was trying to say to you. That what we are trying to do is that we are having a test case.
Like a test run.
Yes. Today, at least we have an average of almost 20-25 people that would like to visit Nigeria.
When is that?
During Easter.
During Easter,
we are hoping that the 2022. We are hoping that by Wednesday of Easter, people will arrive, and they want to come round and see their route. So one of the things we are trying to do.
Which countries are they coming from?
From different countries: Belize, Honduras, Haiti, America, and so on. There are people from Central America. And interestingly, what we need to address is that who are these people?
Who are these? What are they bringing? What value are they coming to add?
They are not just anybody. You see. Again, don't put my background is investment. I used to be there.
So I know you are an expert in that area.
So the question is, you want to see something before you put an investment in something. Let me see the area. So that brings me to why we have come to see the commissioner today. If these people are here, what type of information do you want to give them? Why is it that I should have information that will assist me?
I will live in a world of knowledge economy.
To invest in Oyo State, rather than go and invest somewhere else in Nigeria or somewhere in Ghana or somewhere in Kenya.
So what I'm understanding you saying now is that Oyo State is one of those itinerary that these guests will be visiting.
It's part of it, and part of what we are looking at in this what we call a cultural education, a cultural education development investment visit.
Okay.
Some of them are educationalists, some of them have background in and there are people in the universities. There are people that have established themselves in various parts of the world. Some of them are looking at business and technology. Some of them are looking at music and videography. Some of them are looking at culinary food. Some of them are looking at children education.
So
some of them are looking at their cultural activities. They want to go back their root. Just as what has happened in Brazil. So people in all this area, how do they worship? Which form of worship? How do we get ourselves back? How do we incorporate this into our society?
Yes.
Some of them are professors, like I told you. Some of them are fashion designers.
I can even see business women.
Of course, they're in
fashion designers, seamstresses, cultural
vice area.
Wow.
So and some of them are even writers.
Wow.
And if you realize that Oyo State is noted, and if you remember in those days, one of the prominent things that you know in Oyo State is the literary activities.
Exactly.
And the
literary giant of Nigeria had their roots here in Ibadan.
So you need to understand, how do we get these people to be involved? So if you get it right, they will buy into it. And they are once they come in, they become your
part of our story.
In actual fact, they are the one that will market Nigeria for you. They are the one that will market. They say, oh, we've been to your state, we see certain things. Why don't we go next year? Today we'll be talking about 25. Next year
we might be talking of a larger number.
And they might tell you that, oh, why don't we make it 2 or 3 times in a year? Why don't we look at other areas? And we will also open the door for other Nigerians, because our own people, so they will say there's an opportunity here. We need somebody who is an expert in communication. We need somebody who is this, who can help us with this thing. That brings us to part of what we are talking.
Okay.
There is also the aspect of creativity. That's the other point.
Yeah, we were coming to that.
And in looking at this thing, you also need to bear in mind that our film industry look for a market.
Like Nollywood.
Beyond Nollywood. Look at what our young boys are doing in the area of fintech. Look at what they are doing in the area of music.
Yes.
Look at what they are doing in the area of fashion.
Yes.
Look at what they are doing in the area of even gaming.
You need to
like Ayo. People come around, they say Ayo. You take it back, it becomes part of their life. They want to do, where do you get this done? It's in your part of even Aemu, palm wine and so on.
So all those things we don't put much value on.
Yes, it becomes an opportunity. Because and then you create a market. Assuming that some of these people, apart coming from America, they now see, oh, this is an opportunity for me. I will try and see. Let me do the research in America. I can get this thing back to this.
But do we have the enabling environment to be able to host and be able to get the optimal benefit from these people?
Again, that's one of the things that we discuss with the commissioner.
Thank you.
The enabling environment is created by people. If you welcome me to your home, you understand, I feel part of it.
Okay.
Take a simple example today.
Okay.
We had an opportunity. I would like to pay respect to Mrs.
Ajayi, that you earlier visited.
The wife of the late Vice Chancellor of University of
Lagos.
Of Lagos,
yes.
And the daughter,
Professor J. Ajayi.
I mean, the idea of going there is just, we talk with this, but it's a complete change of environment. It's a complete. I mean, when I saw a woman of 91 looking so, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, she has the privilege of, let me even give you my book, let me give you the book of my husband, come and see my library, come and see this, and ending up by saying, look, I'm so interested in what you are doing. Mama is there. Mrs.
Our daughter.
Our daughter is there.
Mrs. Yetude Aina.
Yes, she is there. The wife of Professor who used to be director of Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, okay. You're not talking about Professor.
She's about 94, 95 now.
Okay, Professor Ogusheye
and the host of us.
Yes.
And in the course of the discussion, Mama was saying, look, people like us can share ideas, can share our own experience. Because one of the problems we have is that this experience of these people is going, once they go away, that is the end. The richest soil you have is the burial ground.
So we have to
so one of the things that came out of that discussion is that there is a need to create a platform for sharing knowledge. In fact, if you remember when I was leaving that place, I turned to Mama. I said, Mama, I have a commitment. Bring people of your like mind. We can create a platform. What they share in that experience can be documented.
Yes, we don't do much of that.
We need to. You see, documentation is something. You can't buy experience.
No, you cannot.
There is something that
only acquire.
There is something that you cannot run away from. I've been doing it before. It's different from I just want to do. Because you can call back what you call recall to experience, and you can get certain things on. It's like you want to go through a bush. If you are going through a bush, if you get there, the whole place is filled up with bushes. But if there is a footpath, somebody has passed through
that
there,
has created,
even if it's 10 years, 100 years, that path
will still remain.
So it gives you a chance. Somebody has passed through here. Let me try.
So are you saying that we're not doing a good job of how to retain, to be able to go back to where our elders have been through, the knowledge they have created, the experience? We're not making good use of it.
We are not, because we are an age of now. I want to eat. Let me put it in the oven. Let me take it, and this is what I want to eat.
In the microwave.
In the microwave. That is who.
So we're living a life, the age of microwave.
It's a false lie. It's not going to be sustainable.
So what are people like you? I know you have institutions that you have set up in different parts of the world, in Nigeria, and you in fact have a place in Lagos, Lekki, where you are trying to bring up knowledge-based centers there. Yes. How do we use this to benefit the younger generation?
Let me tell you what we have. Luckily, one of the things that we have done now, we have agreed with Knowledge for Development Partnership in Austria, which is the knowledge center of the world. We are starting a Zoom.
A Zoom,
yes, a Zoom program. And within that Zoom program, we are bringing in experts from all parts of the world to be on that program.
How does that trickle down?
It trickles down because the knowledge you acquire can be useful to you. Somebody will tell you that, that problem I have with health, in the course of that something, it will give you an idea. Ideas rule the world. And we don't need to run away from that. You get my point? So, and a lot of people are moving towards this area. How do we benefit? How do we analyze a state of event and document things? How do we identify the key elements to development from what you said?
Yes, sir.
These are bases that we need to work on. And we start to say, let's have the first draft, the second draft. How do we put all this together?
Yes.
One of the challenges that we have is that there is no nexus between policy and implementation. And most of our plans failed because it's too theoretical.
We don't practicalize it.
We don't, because we don't even sit down to identify what are the challenges, what are the risks. A good manager must be a risk manager. You must be able, and of course, you need not only be a risk manager, you must be able to understand what you call containment. How do I contain these challenging districts that I have?
Yes.
How do I minimize the loss or the challenges that I have? These are things we have to face. They are not rocket.
They are not rocket science. It doesn't take rocket scientists to
and we need to appreciate that the fact that the world is so small. The world is no longer
it's become a global village.
The world is with you. Why is it that if you are doing
fingertip?
Yes, why is it that if you are doing something you see it? Why is it that if something happens now you want to hide it? You can't. You'll be deceiving yourself.
You can run but you can't hide.
No, you can't. You see, so there are certain challenges that we need to understand.
Okay.
There are certain processes we need to look at. We must get engaged.
All right. Thank you.
We must develop education.
Thank you very much.
We must appreciate that idea is the core of decision making. We must introduce idea to several stakeholders. Okay. We must appreciate the fact that there must be commitment.
Okay.
2, if you have a superior knowledge,
yes, sir,
accept it. And possibly the last point I will say here,
okay, sir,
is that one of the things we need to appreciate is that we must learn the process of having a basket of knowledge where we throw all ideas into it and we sieve and we take the best of the best. Our philosophy must be the best of the best. We should forget about somebody is doing this as I want to copy. This one has gone beyond copying. Why can't you do it better? You need to learn from what that fellow has done. And that is the challenge that we have. So this brings me back again to the issue of creativity.
Okay.
Because we are talking about creating jobs for our people. If you do it well, how much jobs can you create in the fashion industry?
We need to look at that.
You understand me?
Yes.
You need to look. Take somebody like Okonjo, Madam Okonjo.
Dr.
Why is it that she dresses in native? When I was coming into Ibadan, I couldn't recognize you. You said you expected me to be in suit. You understand me? But you saw me in this and so on. That again has shown you one thing.
Yes.
This man is not typical Oyinbo man. I have to go back. I come back to the point I've made.
Yes, sir. To your indigenous self.
Have a root.
Yes,
Where
sir.
do you come from?
Okay. Thank you.
A man who has no root is a man that has no identity.
Yes, sir. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate your time and what we've been talking about and all about, bordering on moving our country forward. Now, you are interested in Oyo State. How do you want to work with Oyo State?
Well, again, you see, it's not a question of how do I want to work in Oyo State. My attitude is that things don't just happen.
Okay.
I mean, my first contact with you,
yes, sir,
has to do with Omobaya MC Shilon.
Yes.
The
engineer MC Shilon, yes.
The one who promoted, who
has the largest collection of art in Africa.
Yeah. And he said, look, please, this, and he phoned you, you must do this, you must do this. Yeah. And in fact, he got to a stage that I was even getting worried because the two of you are fighting each other over getting telephone because he was so impatient. And he said, look, if you allow this man to go, that's the end. You understand the point? Yes. And we started discussing. And you see, so many things has happened. For example, you hosted a program yesterday that has to do with the artist. And the man was telling you, the first time I met this man was 36 years ago. And he touched my life.
Wow.
You understand me? And from there, a lot of issues are raising. Even the resuscitating of what do you call this building that you're trying to Umbari something
club. Yes.
So you need to ask yourself, is it the building you need or the idea?
Or the content.
So why don't you look at people who are founders of Umbari, the likes of Professor Shoyinka, the likes of everybody, create a platform for them, a sharing experience. Let them share their own experience. What is the philosophy behind these things? I think those are the things that we need to address. So the issue of and take also the meeting with University of Ibadan yesterday.
Ibadan, yeah, we were with Ogbeni Adedayo Alao, the publisher of Aloore.
Take the meeting with
Professor Dele Layiwola.
Take the meeting with
and his wife
with them yesterday. The whole process changed. In fact, they were surprised. In fact, it's like, what are we? What are you sure?
So what you are saying in essence is we have all these brains, we have all these resources,
yes,
that we are not making good use.
What we are trying
I'm still concerned. How do we put it in perspective? How do we begin to, like the Chinese says, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step, but a step in the right direction. What is the first step we need to take?
You see, the first step is very important.
Okay.
And I will tell you. You have answered your question.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday, when we got to a stage of the man behind Aloore,
Mr.
Adedayo,
and also the founder of World Yoruba Center.
And he got to a stage and we are talking. And he said, from all these things, just as the question you asked, and you came up with setting up a platform
that all of us can throw in our ideas.
Good. That platform has become a cultural exchange platform.
Good. That's exactly what we call a cultural exchange.
Yes. And arising out of that, a number of issues
developed.
Between yesterday and today,
yes,
a number of issues have developed.
Yes.
Part of it is the linkage of knowledge.
Yes.
For example, with the vast resources in the AGBA trust something, and see how it's fitting in, and everybody say, I want to be part of this. So
yes,
you see, when things are good, people want to be part of it. And my own advice is very simple.
Okay.
They call the drums. You say you are not interested in listening to dancing, and then they start dancing. By the time they pass you, and you don't hear the drum again, by the time you now start to say, let me get the drum. The drum
it's already gone.
So the train is already there. It's for you to be part of the train. So you must be part of the train of development. And that development, interestingly, is now telling you that globally is the relationship between knowledge and creativity.
Yes.
When the United Nations invited me as a guest speaker at the first African Diaspora Summit in Kenya, and I said,
I think that was 2019.
Yes. And I said, the matter is very simple. We in Africa, we have something that people don't have, and that is our culture. People are buying it.
Yes, it's selling.
Why is it that people in Brazil are now worshiping everything, worshiping and wearing their dress, and then you say you don't put any? What are we talking about? We must start from a process, and that process must start from leadership. And that's the point I told the commissioner.
And the leadership we are talking about now is not necessarily because I'm minister of the commissioner, but leadership with our portfolio.
Yes.
Everybody,
you must buy into it. You must be part of the process. If not, the train will leave you behind. I give another simple example. Look at the train system between Lagos and Ibadan.
Yes, sir.
Last year it wasn't like that.
Now it has taken a totally different dimension. And
my own attitude to it is that although we are looking at this train from a public sector, satisfying the people, giving them free services and so on, it goes beyond that. We need to start to look at the commercial side. So that is where public-private partnership comes in. We have to pay our loan, but the facilities are there. There is so much opportunities for us, and people can create business. There are business models that can be created.
Well, are you talking in terms of the train service in the last few days been free?
No. What I'm looking at, I'm not talking about. I just use that as an example.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that the benefit of the train stations that we have, is that it can open up different areas.
And it has done that.
But in opening up different areas, we also must realize that we must start to think the different business models, creating jobs, addressing poverty.
Yes.
How do we service our loan when you get this? So these are things that you cannot run away from. And you also need to appreciate the fact, we need to appreciate the fact that the most important element in this matter is that whose interests are we protecting? How do we sustain what we are doing? What is the spin-off from all these things?
All these things.
All these railways should start to create a new town for us, a new city, a new opportunities,
new business opportunities,
new job, and so on. Those are my concerns.
I understand. Thank you very, very much. And I take those concerns very seriously indeed. My guest today has been Prince Lekan Fadina, Managing Director and Chief Executive, Knowledge Hub Nigeria, which is based in Lagos. And he's also the chairman of AGBA Gallery here in Nigeria, in Lagos as well. And he has been visiting Ibadan to see to how Ibadan can be transposed, can be taken from what Ibadan is into a more knowledge economy based, city, and in fact Oyo State too. And he's had several visits to IITA to see what is going on there. He was the chairman of the Cassava, if you don't mind reminding me of that.
The presidential initiative on Cassava during President Obasanjo's regime.
You were the chairman of that?
Yes, chairman of the technical team.
Wow, that's amazing. So that's
Cassava itself has over 1,000 varieties. So this is the type of the continuity. Why can't we continue what we have? Why can't we share knowledge? And that also brings me to one point which I think we must not run away from. We must address the issue of art as an investment.
Okay.
Ibadan, Oyo State, and so on are noted for various things like the commissioner did mention. You talk about different institutions that you have that can promote tourism.
Yes.
Different places that people can go. We must start to address those areas as an investment portfolio.
Yes, definitely. Well, we are trying our best at the art and culture connection because we see art, as not just for decorative purpose or just for hanging on the wall purpose, but how do we use it, to bring about the desired knowledge, to bring about the desired information that can move the state, the Nigeria, and the world at large forward. Thank you very much for being our guest this afternoon, and I hope next time we call you, you will not mind to please attend to us.
No, you are welcome anytime.
Okay.
I assure you of that.
So,
and please join us as we bring in people from Central America to come and taste what Nigeria is.
Okay.
Let us give the support. Let us appreciate the fact that 2 + 2 must be 5.
Oh, okay. That does make sense to me. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sing a song of joy when neighbor. Sing a song of love your neighbor. Sing a song of justice for peace around the world. Sing a song of hope for children. Sing a song of rejoicing spirit. Sing a song of prayer. You have a voice. This new song to sing. I've been told as I get old, this world could cease to be. The world I knew as a child has changed, but for the better, I'll disagree. The world of a youth has changed its tune and its greed and money they would sing. The family unit has lost its fire. Mom and dad are doing different things. I still believe we are all the same. Love can heal the wounds and hurt most any pain. Put your arm around a neighbor. Tune up an instrument to play. Time is wasting. Lift up your voice. The time is now for a new song to sing. Everybody sing a song of joy when neighbor. Sing a song of love your neighbor. Sing a song of justice for peace around the world. Sing a song of hope for children. Sing a song of rejoicing spirit. over in sin. But if we live for one another in God, with open minds, the light will shine in. It's the spirit of the old deep down in the soul. If you listen, it'll set you free.
Shake him out.
Doesn't matter how many coins you have. Live and let live can bring us.
Live and let live can bring us peace. It does not matter how much money you have. Peace is what you should always strive for. Peace of the mind, peace at home, peace everywhere, and then ensure that your knowledge base is always vibrant. Your knowledge base leads to power for you. They say knowledge is power. And then don't forget, creativity, it's all around us. But how much we make use of it, how good we make use of it, becomes the treasure for us, becomes beneficiary to us. So we've just had some conversation with our daddy, Egbon, Princely Confadino, the managing director, Chief Executive, Knowledge Up Nigeria, and telling us about how well we need to make use of our knowledge-based, endowment. And we've just had that. And this has been on the program Oju Inu AGBA on Radio Aloore. www.facebook.com/AlooreRadio.com. On YouTube, Aloore Radio. On your website, AlooreRadio.com. And on your mobile apps on Play Store. It is again another beautiful moment to have, as usual, our brother Ayodayo Aloore Gidigba in the house.
Thank you
to
very
take us
much.
through the music of yesteryears, as usual, and we are happy to have him back on the program this afternoon.
Thank you,
Mr. Ayodayo Aloore. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our chief and prince at the same time. You see, the program today, I want to change it. Last week when we were here, we discussed something that came up in what we discussed today, especially something brought by our Baba Lekon Fadino, the Prince of Ota, yes. And he's talking about the clamor for Africans to wake up.
Yes.
To their responsibility, because many in the diasporans want to trace their root.
Yes.
And they want to put their foot on their root.
Yes.
And that reminds me that, do you know that Donto Weather, that popular boxer, traced his origin to Nigeria? Donto Weather is claiming that he's from Edo State.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, what of Tyson Fury?
Oh, Tyson Fury.
When Tyson Fury was fighting, with Donto Weather, do you know something he did that shocked me? The teeth guide Tyson Fury used has Nigerian color, green, white, green.
Oh, green, white, green, yes.
So people were wondering, why? Donto Weather that he fought with said he's a Nigerian. And he traced himself to Edo State. It means many people want to trace their roots. So that will let us go and play a music by a late reggae artist, Peter Tosh. We are talking about Africa. Then let's listen to presentation of Peter Tosh as one of our yester music.
Okay.
To let you know that what Prince Leke Fadino is championing has been in the channel, in the tunnel for long.
For long.
And we will now mention many of our artists. Those we may not be able to play their music now because of our time. But that have been clamoring for the same thing.
Say over and over and over.
Dairo, from Baba Julius Araba, King Sunny Ade.
Yes.
But first, let's start with Peter Tosh.
Okay.
Don't care where you come from. As long as you're a black man, you're an African. No mind your nationality. You have got the identity of an African. If you come from Clarendon, you are Don't care where you coming from, as long as you're a black man. None of my nationality, you've got the identity. I said if you come from Brixton,
Did you hear what Peter Tosh, although this is the number he worked upon by his son, Peter Tosh said, wherever you come from, as long as you are a black man, you are an African. No matter your nationality, that skin has given you the identity of being an African. Don't mind your religion. Don't mind your tongue. The moment you have that black skin, you are an African. So it tallies with what Prince had just discussed and what I listened to you discussing with Prince.
Yes.
That now, if out of every 5 or every 4 black men in the world, Nigeria is one. So Nigeria must take the lead
Yes.
in preparing ground for them to come back home.
Yes.
So, because Sonny Ade sang a song, remember First Act 77?
Oh, welcome,
Should I not hear
welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to Nigeria.
We are the First
First
Act.
Act
I
is
hope by the,
taking
you know,
place
by the day.
right in Nigeria, in Africa.
Yes. I pray that by the time those guests that Prince Leko Fadinos said will be coming, this number will feature.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome.
Definitely.
Do you know we have KSA, no, Obe,
Ebenezer Obey, yes. Chief
that
Commander.
around the world. That you know one day, we shall all meet in Africa. Africa, more than yeah,
Africa.
yeah,
Africa. Africa is my
I'm
home.
black and proud.
Yes.
I'm black and
Black and-
proud.
yes.
You see now, he told them that he has been to different places,
But
one
no
day,
place like home.
And he prayed that all the Africans that he met there, one day shall be one day. they will
When we
meet
shall all come back
Okay.
home and meet.
Is that not what Prince Leke?
That's
management
exactly
are
what
championing,
Prince
that
Leke's-
these people will come back home?
Yes, that's exactly
Now, do
what
you
Prince
remember
Leke
Dele
Fadiga was
Abiodun?
talking about.
Dele Abiodun just said the same thing when he went to New York. He reminded them, Ire Olokun, Ire
Yes,
Olosa,
sir.
Abayindele, Odi Dereki, Gbesoko, Aobolayo, Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà, ẹ ó kéré oko.
Kodele, I remember.
Dele Abiodun also sang that song. Then, you know, Dele Ojo said, Ìlú òyìnbó dára.
Rárá,
Ọ̀rẹ́ mi ó dùn púpọ̀. But along the line, he also warned them and advised them. They should not
Àti
forget.
bọ́mọ lọ́wọ́ èkúrọ́ o.
Kò máa
Kì í ṣojú bọ̀rọ̀.
So I think what Prince Leke Fadina is championing,
Lekan Fadina,
Lekan
Prince Lekan
Fadina,
Fadina.
is going to bring to fore the fulfillment of the dreams of this our artist. Aruna Isholare ìlú òyìnbó, do we have it there? Can we play it? Aruna Isholare ìlú òyìnbó, when he went to London, he sang a song.
Kò séwu rárá. There was no trouble délùú òyìnbó.
On my way to London, kò séwu rárá.
Can you hear Agidigbo there? By Olaide Ojoge. Like the Agidigbo that man brought here.
Yeah,
from-
he played on the station.
You see that I pray that the dream and the vision of Prince Leke Fadina
Shall come to pass.
shall come to pass.
Amen.
It shall come to
Amen.
pass because we have had people clamoring for it. We have had many of them, like don't you whether say it's in Nigeria, like another person fully using Nigerian green and green something to guide during this, and we have many of them. Anthony Joshua, we even want to be in the team championing many of them, bringing them back home.
Bringing them back
We
home.
have a lot of them there.
We want for them to bring
Yes.
back home that knowledge.
The knowledge,
Not just the money per se, but the knowledge
and we have grant for it. You know, tourism is something you cannot steal. We have gold. They are mining it illegally. Go to my hometown now.
In
Elisha, the Chinese are there. Many of those villagers have sold something to them. But you cannot sell that hanging lake in the Yake in Oyo State. Yeah, you cannot. That house of Ajayi Crowder, you cannot take it away from that place. Bawa Tower cannot be taken. So tourism is a natural deposit that cannot be stolen. You cannot take it away. But it's left for the people who owns it to develop it.
Adequate use of it.
Let me tell you a sad event.
Maximum use of it.
Where Fayujuyi and Aguirosi were killed in 66 first coup. It's in Aloore there. Some people now wanted to preserve the place. Some people were clearing roads.
That's part of our history.
They tamper with it. But it can still be reclaimed. The space is there.
Wow.
Yes. So we have a lot. I pray that God will spare Baba, Prince Ferdinand, and give him more years to spend on earth. Amen. And some of us young ones are pleading that we want to be in that team.
Yes,
we'll be very much happy if we can be considered to be in the team. And about Mbari, yes, it has been my dream too. So we are going to work on it because we must start that. As from January, we must
start something on it.
Can we start it on Mbari platform?
Our good heads together.
Can we put it on Mbari platform? On Zoom? Online.
Okay. What's your take?
There is an device directly opposite where they are saying the stadium is there. It belongs to the government. Then we have space in cultural center. Can they now create a space there?
Yes. Mbari must come back.
It will take come back. It may go back to its former site or be given another befitting site. So with that, we meet again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayodayo Aloore. It's been really wonderful having you again. I have to let you know, it's not so much an apology per se, but rather all the other aspects of all the other segments of the program that we did not bring this afternoon is because we have this very crucial matter to thrash out, especially having a giant like Prince Lekan Ferdinand coming all the way from Lagos to come and talk about issues bordering on development, bordering on knowledge-based economy.
And I want to give kudos to the Shillon.
Yes.
Do you know the Kuti family, the house, Abeokuta, you know, they worked upon it.
Oh.
Yes, Reverend Father Kuti.
Yes.
Something. Yes, I read it. I followed it up. How it is going to be preserved. In fact, I think there has been a renovation.
Yes, that will be another tourist center by itself. Yes. So, Engineer Yemisi Shillon, we thank you so very much. You know, I fondly refer to him as Omoba Shillon.
Okay.
We thank you so very much for, you know, making our Baba available for us this afternoon. And so I'm saying that we could not bring you other programs like the chanting, the news and so on, but everything all rolled into one. And we thank you once again. As we are signing out on this program, don't forget that you can access us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/AloreRadio.com, YouTube Aloore Radio, website www.AloreRadio.com on your mobile apps, on Play Store. You can access us. It's been Tunde Odulade of the Tunde Odulade Arts and Culture Connections, who has been your host this afternoon. And I thank my brother Ayodayo Aloore for coming and then doing his usual music of yesteryears to your enjoyment. While I thank Olawoye Deji, who has been the man behind the console, Rafiu Sikiru, Rafiu Ayogbajeje Ogbeni Ige, and so on and so forth. Aminat Akagbe is not on the program this afternoon because we really wanted to get the best we could out of Prince. Yorubani Akire Fonta Lemiji. So having him, we just went all out to say, let's just have him. And I'm sure you have enjoyed his visit. Thank you so very much. While I also thank Dr. Wasiu Olatubosun, the Honorable Commissioner of Information, Culture and Tourism in Oyo State, for being the chief host of this program, and our able leadership at the top, Oga at the top, GSM, Governor Sheyi Makinde, in whose studio we are currently transmitting from. Don't forget that you can also call if you need more questions about Aloore program and Oju Inu in particular. You can call 090-3985-3731. I repeat, 090-3985-3731. Then Tunde Odulade Arts and Culture Connection. You can also call us on 081-1822-5178. I repeat, 081-1822-5178. My group brother, Mr. Tokumbo Laleye, who has been patiently, hanging around with us in this studio to energize us. Thank you for coming. And that my other big brother.
That is Gazo.
Gazo. Gazo. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Bye.